What's good, everybody? We are back again for another amazing, spectacular, special, and phenomenal episode of the No Hedging Podcast. I go by the name of Rip 16, the GOAT.
I am tired of fly jet.
And we are the Mighty No Hedging Podcast duo. Make sure y'all like, share, comment, subscribe to the channel because we are back in full effect for a brand new season, man. We had our preseason episode. We actually had a week 1 episode with a live. Might have been some audio technical difficulties going on there. Don't know what is happening, but
Yeah.
we are back in studio and we are fired up, man. It's week 2 already. It's week 2, and it's just time to dive in. So, anything you want to say to the people before we go in?
No, just excited, that we're back. Week 1 was full of excitement for sure.
Yeah.
A lot of we not knowing what teams are, who they're going to be, what they're going to do. Had a phenomenal game, especially on prime time.
Just when you thought you could turn the game off.
Yeah, no, can't turn it off. Can't turn it off.
So it was definitely an exciting week 1 of football. And speaking of that, since you're talking about week 1 of football, let's just get into one of our OG classic, probably one of our, most loyal segments. Mm-hmm. We got a little segments we like to call takeaways. What do we got? What you got for your first takeaway?
I want to talk about the most exciting game of the weekend, which was the Ravens and the Bills.
No defense, birdie.
Yeah, no defense was played in that game at all. Nothing but offensive outpouring. A lot of offense shown by 2 phenomenal quarterbacks. MVP Josh Allen, previous MVP Lamar Jackson. Mm-hmm. These 2 quarterbacks, they put on a show. They put on a freaking show. Derrick Henry showed out as well. Until right? Fourth quarter, things changed. The Ravens had like a good 14-point lead in the fourth. Derrick Henry with a fumble, and the table started to turn.
Derrick Henry had just gotten a touchdown too.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. I thought it was a wrap after that Derrick Henry touchdown. Not gonna hold you. Thought it was a wrap. But they just couldn't contain Josh Allen.
Yeah.
For nothing. Like every time they covered somebody, Kyle Hamilton was everywhere when he was on the field. Like he was moving around, but every time they get somebody locked up, Josh Allen take off running. And they could not contain him for nothing at all. So that's what kept them just lingering around, hanging in the game. Then when that turnover happened,
Yeah, like on the Buffalo side of things, it was definitely Josh Allen. But one thing I noticed that I was kind of, hopeful for was the rise of Keon Coleman, playing a little bit more consistent, catching some passes, some key passes on the sideline, catching tip pass in the end zone, things of that nature. So Keon Coleman, he had a good game. And that's who my eyes have been on, is going to be on this year to see if he can be that number 1 option for Josh Allen. Yeah, so that's what I'm looking for. And he had a nice little outpouring of that this weekend.
He did. James Cook's impact on that game was bigger than 44 yards.
Mm-hmm. It was the moments.
It was. I think
it was the receiving yards.
It was in receiving yards for sure. Because James Cook added another 58 on passing yards, which was huge because one of those was a big breakout play. Mm-hmm. They got him down to the red zone, and I believe he ran it in too.
Nah.
Or somebody else scored on that drive.
Josh Allen scored.
Josh Allen ran it in. Mm-hmm. But James Cook's contribution to the game as a wide receiver and key rushing plays was important. But Josh Allen on the ground, he had 30 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. So, I mean, hell, it looked like more than 30 yards. watching it live, but I think it was just very key. Even if it was a 5-6 yard run, it was just a very key 5-6 yard run.
So, I mean, he was spreading the ball around. What I was saying was he was throwing it to pretty much all his receivers, all his tight ends. Everybody was getting targets and touches, and everybody was making some good catches and contributions in that offense. It was like there's no one person that you needed to double. Everybody was like winning their matchups. Everybody got involved. It's like a full, well-rounded offense, which is, bodes well for him. Everybody's, who's the number one? But they do it by committee. You know, everybody has an impact in that game, in that offense. So I guess it works.
So, I mean, do you feel like that bodes well for them?
I do, because it was, when Stephon Diggs was the clear number one, it was always when he wasn't getting the ball, it was always an issue. Right, I don't see those issues anymore coming from this Buffalo team or sideline. You know what I mean? There's not that alpha in the receiver room that's like, I gotta get the ball, I gotta have the ball. You know what I mean? Like demanding the football. So,
do we think that's a good thing or a bad thing?
It's a bad thing
for a team, though.
It's bad. It's
bad. If somebody's demanding the football, if you got one guy demanding it, it's bad.
Yes, especially if the best player is the quarterback and not that guy. It's different if you're talking about, let's say, Malik Neighbors and Russell Wilson versus Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. Like, bro, Josh Allen is the guy, not Stephon Diggs. So he makes all the, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You get where I'm coming from?
I mean, but even in the case like because the reason I asked is because we had a previous discussion about like Green Bay, right? Mm-hmm. Nobody's the guy. You know what I'm saying? In terms of wide receiver and core. Mm-hmm. But Jordan Love is a serviceable quarterback. He's a pretty good quarterback, I would say. Mm-hmm. So I mean, in a situation like that, I don't know. It gets kind of dicey, and I think I get your point of saying that Josh Allen is the MVP. So Josh Allen is the focus, right, versus Malik Neighbors versus with the Giants. Malik Neighbors is the focus, not Russell Wilson.
100%.
But I don't know. I kind of get confused as to which direction to go with that from the team standpoint. If you're somebody like the Green Bay Packers, like I don't know which philosophy is a good philosophy. I guess maybe you're saying that it depends on the personnel that you have, whether or not it's a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah.
But just from that standpoint, I always feel like it kind of helps. Like, regardless of the personnel, I always feel like it kind of helps because the defense doesn't have one person to concentrate on.
Yeah.
Like, if I know for a fact that Addison is out, Justin Jefferson is in, concentrate on Justin Jefferson. Mm-hmm. Like, this is an easy figure it out. It's not nothing to overthink. Concentrate on Justin Jefferson. Mm-hmm. Yes, those other guys can dice you up or carve you up, but you got a better chance one-on-one with those other guys than you do Justin Jefferson.
For sure.
So when you have personnel and you have a team like the Bills who have a great quarterback, but don't necessarily have like the guy, maybe Keon Coleman is the guy, maybe.
Yeah.
But they don't necessarily have the guy.
Yeah, that works well in their advantage.
It works well in their advantage, but I still feel like it works well in the advantage of Jordan Love because it's like
it's the same situation.
It's the same situation, but they don't even have somebody that might be the guy.
Yeah, it's the same scenario. They have it's by committee. It's a bunch of guys. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you don't know who's who, but it's all on the quarterback to distribute the ball, which is what they're supposed to do anyway.
Right. So I always feel like it's an advantage not necessarily having the number one wide receiver if you have a good committee.
Yeah.
Now, if your committee is trash, like some other squads that we'll get to in a minute, but
yeah,
then that'll be a different question. Now, that collapse at the end of the game for the Ravens. I think the Ravens lost that game more than the Bills won that game.
100%. 100%.
Because they should have won that game, but another team that lost that game that should have won that game was the Bears.
Ooh.
What the fuck was that?
I don't know what that was. First drive, they were humming. Caleb was doing good. He went 10 for 10, rushing touchdown. Everything was humming. I was like, okay, I see what's going on. But then, like, in that fourth quarter, hell, even in the third quarter, they couldn't get anything going. It was like penalties and sacks and, you know.
They really stalled out.
Yeah, it was, you know, bad execution. And the Vikings, they took advantage of it. After that pick six that JJ McCarthy threw.
Gritty, my guy.
After that pick six, the tables turn. You would think it wouldn't turn in their favor.
After a pick six, you would think you would start going downhill.
Right, but it flipped. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like a lot of their drives kind of like stalled out. You know what I mean?
And it was interesting to me because I thought after that pick six, especially, their back was against the wall. You know, McCarthy was, you know, looking a little frazzled because of that pick six, which is a reasonable response. You know, you that late in the game and get a pick six, it's a problem, and you already down. But to the coach, credit, you know, he kept him kind of calm on the sideline. I seen him talking to Justin Jefferson. You know, he was kind of nodding his head like he understood what happened. And, you know, they went out there and they kept playing. And then they managed to come back and win that game. How the hell they came back and won, I don't know. I really don't know how they came back and won that. But that was another scenario where the Bears lost that game more than the Vikings won that game because it was pretty much a wrap. After that,
I mean, it's just like, well, the thing was Caleb Williams, he was missing throws. It was wide open guys that he was missing reads that he wasn't pulling the trigger on. He missed DJ Moore in the sideline. That could have been a touchdown. Missed him.
Yeah.
So it was just a lot of missed opportunities that was left on the field by Chicago in the offense, you know, that they didn't capitalize on. And then when it came down to the Vikings, they capitalized on their opportunities. You know what I mean? JJ McCarthy, and I take it back. We all didn't know what that would look like or what that would be, but he got that dog in him. You know what I'm saying? He got it. Like, he sat and he didn't fold. He didn't crumble. He just stayed the course, kept playing one play at a time. He made a throw to Justin Jefferson, a rifle inside for that one touchdown. Next drive, came back, threw a nice little pass over to Aaron Jones in down the sideline. That was a touchdown there. And then finally he had a rushing touchdown. Great play call by Kevin O'Connell with the zone read. He pulled out, ran to the right side and scored. So, and that really sealed the game right there. So all of that was all JJ McCarthy. You know what I'm saying? He had 3 quarters of just shit, and then it just all turned around in the fourth quarter. So, I mean, credit and kudos to JJ. Minnesota, I think they might have got their guy.
Okay.
I just didn't know what he would have looked like. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I didn't have any data.
Yeah, we didn't have any data for it. But I mean, the Chicago Bears defense was looking very good early on as far as stopping the run and all these different things. They did have some DBs out, some starters out in the secondary, but they were able to, you know, hold up as much as they possibly could. They held Justin Jefferson, you know, pretty well. You know, he didn't get off or go crazy.
No.
But, you know,
Jordan Mason actually had the most receiving yards.
Yeah, but, you know, kudos to the Vikings defense as well. Brian Flores, he did his damn thing with the call and, you know, had Caleb Williams running crazy out there.
I'm sorry, not Jordan Mason. I meant Aaron Jones. But,
Yeah.
No, for sure. I mean, the only other team I looked at, which did what I said in the preseason episode, I told you. The Chargers came out the gate against the Kansas City Chiefs, and they won in Brazil. But that game kind of went the way that I expected, you know, to be a battle for a large portion, but the defense came up and they made stops at timely plays. You know, Derwin James came through with some strong hits. It was a couple breakaway plays what the Chiefs had here and there, but to the credit of the Chargers offense, they bounced back and they, you know, responded. When they got hit in the mouth with like the Kelsey bomb downfield, they turned around and they went back and scored. You know, so They had a pretty good showing from Omarion Hampton, the rookie, who I'm high on. Surprisingly, Quentin Johnston was the leading receiver of that game.
He was working this offseason, man. He was on that jugs machine. He was getting it in. Hey, 150 catches before I leave for the day after practice. He was on that jugs machine because he ain't dropped nothing.
No, he didn't.
He ain't dropped nothing.
He said, "You gotta drop that shit." This
and
year.
he was borderline bust material. So this was a year that he had to step up and do something. So kudos to him. I give credit where it's due. And he put in that work this offseason because he showed it.
I need you to keep it up though.
Yeah,
because that's week 1, mofo.
Yeah. But what's concerning to me though, obviously, I mean, Patrick Mahomes, he was playing that like it was a playoff game. Like he was scrambling his ass off trying to make shit happen. But, it
was not good enough.
It wasn't good enough. I mean, injuries, again, are plaguing the Chiefs in the receiver room. Xavier Worthy got injured early. Rasheed Rice, obviously, he's out. But
suspension.
Yeah, so it's like, offensively, they not looking that sharp. You know what I mean? They just running out there like they playing some street ball, whatever. They didn't run the ball very well, but
Patrick Mahomes had the most rushing yards.
Yeah, they didn't run the ball.
Which should not be the case.
Yeah, they didn't run the ball very well. And then defensively, I'm a little disappointed in the secondary because everybody on the Chargers offense was just running wide open. Everybody was catching passes, and that Chiefs secondary just gave up so much yardage at the wrong time. It's just so much yardage. It was crazy.
Yeah, because, Keenan had 68, Ladd had 74, Conklin had 50, and Quentin Johnston had 79.
Yeah.
So, to me, that's just not characteristic of a Chiefs defense, even though I know that they typically start slow, which is one reason I picked them to pick the Chargers to win that game, because the Chiefs tend to start slow. But I do think it was important that the Chargers went out there and they actually won that game. The Chiefs didn't lose that game. The Chargers won that game.
Oh yeah, they took it from
out there and
they took it from
them. They beat them. They were clearly
in control the whole game. The whole game.
And I think that was the impressive part about that win. Justin Herbert finally getting a win over the Chiefs. That's not something to slightly look over. I think if you can come out there and you could dominate and be in control against, a former Super Bowl MVP and someone who's just in the Super Bowl, and you can come out there and be dominant against that team, I think it says a lot about them. And they're just one of those teams that I do think you got to watch this season, just because they got a lot better, a lot stronger on both sides of the football.
Yeah, I didn't expect them to come out throwing the ball as much as they did.
Yeah,
that was surprising to me, and they did it with confidence. But you got Justin Herbert back there, one of the best throwers in the league right now. So why not?
Yeah,
especially you surrounded him with
5,000 yards at his age.
Yeah, you surrounded him with a lot of receiver talent. You brought back Keenan Allen, Johnson, Q done got better catching the ball. Obviously, you got Ladd McConkey in the slot, so you got some reliable receivers out there that can help you. So. I'm not surprised, but
it's nice I was a little shocked. Older and younger players.
Yeah, nice balance. So yeah, the Chargers are definitely on the watch list to go to the Super Bowl. They're a legit contender for sure.
Super Bowl contender. All right.
Hey.
Speaking of contenders and pretenders, we have another wonderful segment around here. Now, last season this segment was called Besides the Chiefs. Is it fair that we start calling it Besides the Eagles?
Well, we're going to have to, because they won.
Let's go Besides the Eagles.
Besides the Eagles.
What is that, bro?
All right, man. So, speaking of the Eagles, right? The Eagles win this first game, Thursday Night Football, very first game of the 2025 season. And they go out there and they win against the Dallas Cowboys at home.
In not convincing fashion.
It was not convincing, though. It was not a great defensive performance. And I think...
Got the spit gate to start off the game.
What was that, Jayla? What are you doing?
Everybody just spitting on each other.
6 seconds in to the game, and you get booted out of the game?
Yeah.
Pissed me off. Some fierce. Felt like Vegas made the call. But Jalen Carter getting kicked out, possibly pending suspension. Still no word on it. They still haven't said it. Some people said because there was no suspension issued on Monday, it's likely that he may not get a suspension. And others say that, well, it's still not off the table. They're pretty sure he'll get fined. Somebody said around $60K on a report I read. Don't know if that's fully true, so don't quote me on that number. But without Jalen Carter in there, they had a couple guys go down on the field during the game too. But I don't know. They just did, like you said, it wasn't convincing. Like
no, that
it
Eagles
felt like
defense.
they should have been more convincing against the Cowboys with a defense that was lacking.
Yeah, so the Eagles defense is not the same that won the Super Bowl. They got rid of a lot of pieces.
Right.
So this is a whole new Philadelphia defense. The only player they really have on that defensive front is Jalen Carter. Without him, they have really not much of anything. And that was the issue. They weren't able to generate any pressure. They weren't able to get any sacks on Dak Prescott. And that's the problem. So
that's a big problem.
Obviously they still have their offensive firepower and weaponry or whatever. That's good and dandy, but you got to be able to stop somebody. And that was shown in this game. Same thing with the Dallas Cowboys. Them getting rid of Micah Parsons.
Clearly.
It made an impact, even though they did get one sack, but for the majority of the game, Jalen Hurts was looking very comfortable in the pocket. He wasn't really pressured that much. He was very poised. He had a lot of rushing yards, did good throwing the ball, protecting the football. So it's like the defense on both sides felt impacts from missing players on that defensive line. You know what I mean?
And everybody except for Jerry Jones knew that not having Michael Parsons was going to be a problem for that defense. Jalen Hurts had more rushing yards than Saquon Barkley in that game. Slightly, but more. And to me, it seems like because he was rushing so much, it felt like there was some type of pressure generated, but you just weren't able to contain the quarterback.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a problem. Now, Jalen Hurts is a Super Bowl MVP, so we're not going to act like he's just nobody out there running on them. But it was a little concerning without Jalen Carter how much the Cowboys were able to move the ball. Yeah, I didn't like the fact that the Cowboys were even able to run the ball as much as they were able to against the Eagles defense. Because we all know that that's also a problem for them. Now, Javonte Williams, do you think Javonte Williams, I want to ask you this, do you think Javonte Williams is the Cowboys guy?
I like how he was running the football. If he stays healthy, I think he's a good piece. I mean, the Cowboys' offensive line, I don't know if it's due to Jalen Carter not being in the game, but they looked like they were pretty good. Yeah. You know what I mean? I mean, Dak had time. They were running the ball very well. What stood out to me, though, a couple drop passes by CeeDee Lamb towards the end of the game. He dropped some passes now that were put on him. You know what I mean? Yeah. So he dropped about two or three passes.
He still had 110,
but he dropped some crucial, critical passes. He dropped a diving. It would have been a tough catch, but diving one. Dak threw a dime on the sideline, diving catch. He dropped that. Dropped one in the middle of the field. Dropped that. Hit his hand. So he dropped some passes that were key. The turning point of the game obviously was that stoppage. You know what I mean? The weather stoppage, the weather delay.
That delay was so long. By the way, I was in Dallas.
Yeah.
That damn weather delay was so long. I had to dip out. I was shout out to Cosm in Dallas, who's watching it. Big screen, nice, dope setup. The delay was so long, I had to go. Yeah. So that delay was definitely a big deal and a turning point in the game because I think it just shifted the momentum because they didn't really score after that.
Yeah, because what happened was Dallas fumbled the ball.
Yeah.
They was about to go in and
Dallas
score.
fumble. That was
Dallas
the first takeover. That was the first turnover of the game.
Dallas fumbles the ball going into getting ready to score in the red zone.
It was Sanders.
Dak ends up having a touchdown saving tackle on the return, and then boom, that's when the weather delay came, and then it seems like all the scoring ceased. You know what I mean?
Everybody said, all right, let's just pack it up.
Both defenses started to lock up a little bit more. You know, Dallas defense was not allowing Saquon to get off or allowing to rush crazy. So that's what slowed the game down a little bit, but that changed the pace of the game. But either way, you know, both of these defenses, the key thing that I took away from this game was both defenses were impacted by lack of pass rush.
Yeah.
By losing players, either by trade or by ejection.
Yeah,
you
for
know?
sure.
And I think that both of these defenses are going to struggle a little bit throughout the season. You know what I mean? Because of one, Philly with the lack of losing players and losing pieces, and then obviously Dallas with them losing a player and they weren't that good to begin with.
One of the best pass rushers.
Yeah. So that was my takeaway from that game.
Okay. But in terms of contenders and pretenders, I know it's only week 1, so we don't want to jump the gun too much on too many teams.
Yeah.
But is there anybody, you know, whether it be contender or pretender, that stood out to you that just really jumped off the page for you after week 1?
I think there's one team that jumped off for everybody, and that's the Green Bay Packers. That addition of Michael Parsons, that turned that defense up. He didn't even play that much, but when he did, he had such a big impact on the game.
Yeah.
He got a sack in the game, what Dallas was missing. But that added piece to that defense, it just brings more intensity to the Green Bay Packers defense. They are already good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
I was a little concerned after they lost Jair.
Yeah, but you shouldn't be. You lose Jair, then you bring in Michael Parsons. That helps with the secondary.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So don't be concerned about that. That Packers defense is good. Obviously, the offense, it's a good offense. We know that. It's been good for a couple of years now. And Jordan Love, he was doing his thing, slinging the ball per usual. The question is, what the hell, Detroit?
I mean, we had said during our preseason episode that there was some concerns about what the offense would look like without Ben Johnson being the OC. And 13 points were put up on the board during week 1 against the Green Bay Packers. Now, based on what you just said, the Green Bay Packers defense was really good. But I just expect more out of Detroit based on what we've seen over the past couple of years in terms of offensive production. Because, I mean, they still have a lot of the players or all of the players in terms of personnel. So, I mean, what do they do to try to fix that? You know, obviously it's a play calling issue. But
yeah, I mean, they brought in somebody from the outside, so it's not the same, you know, kind of scheme. You know, it's a whole different. Do you think
the players are trying to learn a new scheme, or do you think it's just
it's a mixture of the players learning the scheme and
or
a
just
mixture
the scheme
of
is not as good?
That, and then, you know, the coach, offensive coordinator, learning the players and seeing what fits best for them. It's different. Whenever you get a new offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, that's a lot. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole mentality shift, you know, from what you've been doing for the previous 3 years.
Right.
So
I'm not quite ready to throw the Lions on the pretenders list. But y'all gotta tighten that shit up.
Yeah.
Y'all gotta tighten it up. It's only week 1. So we're not going to, you know, ring the fire alarm and the panic button. And you did face a good team. We're not going to act like the Green Bay Packers weren't a playoff team or anything. So, I mean, they are a good team as well. Yeah. But the Lions got to come out and play better. I do think it's befitting that the Packers move themselves up in the contender list And the Lions kind of moved themselves down in the contender list after that performance. Not gonna quite call them pretenders, but it was definitely
that's what we predicted, that they would have a little
see a regression.
Yeah, we predicted that. So
it's
still early, and that was a divisional game, so we get it. So we give them some time. They gotta bounce back this week. They just have to, because that performance wasn't good enough.
No,
it was not good enough.
That's not gonna cut it. Speaking of not good enough performances and not gonna cut it, let's get to one of my favorite segments that we have on this show, and it's called Clock Out for Me, Big Dawg.
Yeah, you can go ahead and clock out.
Right now?
After week 1.
I'm gonna have to. You gonna pop this one off.
Oh yeah.
Get it off. Get
great.
it off your chest.
I don't know if y'all can see this, but it's an ATL on my hoodie. And that's exactly where I'm going. To the hometown. ATL, zoom in on the camera, go to Google Earth, zoom in, and somebody find me Young Wei Koo on that map. On Google Earth, zoom in, tap him on the shoulder and say, clock out for me, big dog. What in the fuck was that? You had a kick within the 30s. If I see a 3 in front of the kick for an NFL kicker, I'm thinking that's an automatic. And I don't feel like that's unreasonable. And you kicking inside of a dome.
At home.
At home. So you kick on this goal all the time. Like,
and you was on the left hash and you took it wide right.
what was that? Crazy work. So my whole thing, clock out for me, big dog. Young Wei started messing up last year, right? He did. He started messing up, and he was a reliable kicker for a long time. For a good amount of time, he was a good, solid kicker. But last year, something happened. Don't know what happened. But he just started going left or wide right in this case. And I don't like it. I'm not liking it. My only problem is I really don't know who y'all replacing with.
You can't.
I don't know. I just don't know who you're replacing with. Didn't you say somebody else got clocked out? Another kicker got clocked out?
Oh, yeah, Jake Moody.
Moody got clocked
him.
out.
Yeah.
They waived him.
The 49ers.
And everything in me with that game, where they could have tied the game with that kick, everything in me wants to clock him out. I do. And I love Harpo. Lord knows I do. But I just really want to clock him out. And the problem is I just don't know who you replace him with. That's the only thing saving you right now. So I'm gonna hope that with you remaining in the building, that you get your shit together and do something, because you cannot be missing 30-something yard kicks in a division game. You just can't do that.
Well, I'm just gonna say this. Let's not let it get to that point. How about that?
You shouldn't.
Look,
You shouldn't.
That secondary need to tighten up.
The secondary could have tightened up, because there shouldn't have been a touchdown to get them ahead.
Exactly.
So, I mean, I can agree with that. I'm fully on board with that. But Michael Penix got y'all down there.
He put you in position. He did what he's supposed to do.
Basically a 2-minute drill. He went down there. He got you in field goal position. He put you on the left hash. He did his job. Would have been nice to get a touchdown? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But were they able to? No, they were not.
Yeah.
So now it's up to the kicker to make a very makeable kick. They didn't ask him to come out and make a 50-yard kick. They asked you to make a 30-something yard kick. And you should be able to make that as an NFL kicker. That's just that. I'm not a kicker.
Yeah.
So I don't know what goes through your head at the end of the day. However, what the fuck? I ain't like it. You talked about somebody else. Because it's pissed me off.
Sad day for Atlanta Falcons fans. It was terrible. Yeah. But, that's what they do. My clock out. And I think it's due. It's time. I'm going down to Miami. I'm knocking on the door of Mike McDaniel and Tua Tagovailoa. That performance was putrid.
Against Daniel fucking Jones.
That performance was putrid. Tua with 2 interceptions. It was just disgusting. Mike McDaniels, I just feel like that team is already gave up, and the season just started. They quit.
They give up during game one.
I feel like they gave up. It was no juice, no energy. Tyreek Hill's pissed off on the sideline. I feel like Mike McDaniels lost this team. And to get the doors blown off by the Indianapolis Colts with Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones had 272 yards passing.
This dude, he out there looking like an MVP candidate. 3 touchdowns. What was it, 3 touchdowns? 1 touchdown?
I think he had 1 touchdown.
1 touchdown,
but it was just the fact that Daniel Jones has 272 yards passing against you. That's not good. Now, I don't know. Jalen Ramsey left in the secondary.
He gone. Yeah.
He gone. He's on the Steelers.
But that's what happened, right? When they left, when Jalen Ramsey left, he said something. He was on the Pivot podcast, and it was just talking about how, he likes the Pittsburgh culture because it's like it's a real head coach, so to speak. He kind of threw a little jab at Mike McDaniels.
Real head coach.
Yeah, he kind of threw a jab at Mike McDaniels a little bit. That's not what he said exactly, but something along those lines. But basically a little jab at Mike McDaniels, stating that he's not like a good leader, essentially. You know what I'm saying? Basically, he was comparing, his experience in Pittsburgh with Mike Tomlin and you can't compare those two guys. No. You know what I mean? So I think it's time for Mike McDaniels to clock out Tua. I mean, we've been asking you to clock out for a long time because you're just a walking concussion.
Put on the freaking garden helmet.
Yeah, concussion waiting to happen. But I just, it's just Miami. It's just a shit show. You're in trouble. No playoffs this year once again. And I think McDaniels probably going to be gone by Thanksgiving.
If they keep this up before the turkey come out.
If they keep this up, he's gonna be gone before the dessert.
Before the turducken.
Before the turducken. So time to clock out Tua Tagovailoa and Mike McDaniel. All that cool shit, wearing off-whites on the sideline, sweatpants, aviators.
Is nice.
Want to be a cool guy, but nah, we can't play football, man. Anybody here for all that? These guys, they trying to win games. You know what I'm saying?
Miami though.
Fuck that. It's time to clock out.
Well, I respect it and I get it. But, moving right along from the clock out, it's a sad story going on over there in Miami and Atlanta. But there is some excitement coming up in the horizon. So let's move on to week 2 of the NFL season.
Let's talk about it.
There is something very special going on for week 2 of the NFL season, and I think we should speak on it during MustSeeTV.
Must see. Tune in.
These folks got their hits.
Now, it's not it's a lot of games being played every week. But there's a few games that you just absolutely must see.
Mm-hmm. Tune in.
But I think this particular week, for week 2, there's one game in particular that you definitely must see. And you want to tell the people what that game is?
It's the Super Bowl matchup, rematch.
Yeah.
It's the Super Bowl rematch, Kansas City and the Philadelphia Eagles.
Very interesting matchup for week 2 because as we just previously spoke on, we don't know if Jalen Carter is playing. As of now, he's not suspended. He has a pending might be suspended. And if he's not playing against the Kansas City Chiefs, how do you think the Philadelphia Eagles that you saw in week 1 hold up against the Kansas City Chiefs that you saw in week 1?
I don't think. I mean, like I said, we talked about the lack of receivers and all of this that the Chiefs have. We don't know if Xavier Worthy's going to be playing or not. Not sure on that, but it's going to be. I think it's going to be one of those games where it's going to be low scoring. It's going to be low scoring, and it's going to be one of those games where whoever gets to the quarterback, whoever generates that pressure, whoever gets to the quarterback is going to be the one that wins the game. Because it's like, I'm not excited about either defense. Either defense
Agreed.
Doesn't excite me. But what does excite me is that the Chiefs have Chris Jones, and they're coming off of a loss. So it's like, okay, now, that gives them a slight little edge in that aspect on that side of the football because of Chris Jones. You know what I mean? That's my thought. Now, will they be able to stop that passing game of the Philadelphia Eagles? Because mind you, Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown, AJ Brown didn't even go off last week against Dallas.
No, my boy B Titty said AJ always jogging.
Yeah, so he didn't even go off. So this could be one of those games that AJ Brown goes crazy because of what we've seen.
Yeah, he had
CD
8
Lamb,
yards.
what we've seen CD Lamb do against this Philadelphia, this Chiefs defense. You know what I'm saying? I mean, not Chiefs. Yeah, this Chiefs defense. So no, hold on.
Not CD. We saw Quentin Johnson.
Quentin Johnson
go
did that.
crazy
Yeah,
against
Quentin
the
Johnson
Chiefs defense.
against the Chiefs defense
Yeah,
and
you
the
gotta deal
Chargers.
with AJ Brown.
Yeah, so you got to deal with AJ Brown and Smitty,
Smitty.
and so they got a lot of receivers there. So that's going to be my concern. But what helps them is that they do have Chris Jones to help that a little bit. So this is going to be a kind of like a bounce back game for Steve Spagnuolo on the defensive side of the football to be like, okay, hey, we gotta stop this. But then you added the element of Jalen Hurts running, and then you had the element of Saquon Barkley. It's tough. I don't know. It's
That's
hard.
a hellified run defense to try to bounce. I mean, run offense to try to bounce back against. For sure. So I mean, I'm interested to watch this just as a fan of football. I think it'll be a very interesting matchup because the deficits kind of play into each other of both teams as of right now. Like you said, it's a question of what the defense can do without certain pieces. So we gonna see. They got to try to contain Jalen Hurts though, because you can't mess around and have him running for 60 yards again. But, if you focus on containing Jalen Hurts, how much does that free up Saquon?
Yeah, the Chiefs got to run the football, man. They have to run the ball.
Damn sure cannot.
They got to run the ball, man.
The Chiefs
They gotta
cannot
run
win
the ball.
this game with Patrick Mahomes being your leading rusher.
No, they got to run the ball, man. They got to get Isaiah Pacheco involved more. They got to do
Pacheco
something.
and Hunt. Do a running back by committee. I don't care if you do that, but you got to generate more rushing yards from your running backs than your quarterback.
Yeah, this could be a big Travis Kelce game too, because I don't see them having like Kelce did. Whenever Kelce plays as the Chargers, that Derwin James matchup is always tough.
Always going against DJ.
You know what I mean? It's always tough. And they battle, they win. Kelce might beat him, Derwin might get him, but I don't see anybody on this Eagles defense that can defend Travis Kelce in that manner. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So this is a advantage probably Kelce in that instance.
No, that definitely makes sense. I mean, if Kelce can come out there and have similar energy to what he had against the Chargers, because Kelce didn't have a bad game at all.
It was bad until he got that one touchdown.
Well, he made a couple catches.
Yeah,
I'll say that. I'm not gonna say great,
yeah.
but it's interesting to see if he can, expose some of the holes in the defense and expose the secondary.
Yeah, for sure. Because I think they don't
against the
have
Eagles.
Philly doesn't have that safety that can defend, or that size that can corral, that can that can defend Kelce that way. So it's like, all right, that's going to be, they're going to have to double him or something. I don't know what they're going to do there, but they don't have that piece. All they have, their elite player is Quentin Mitchell on the outside. That's it.
Quinyon, yeah.
Q. So that's MustSeeTV though.
No, for sure, I agree with that. But I mean, with all that being said, we done told the people about last week. We done told the people a little bit about what we're looking forward to this week. But there's a highly important segment. Some of our viewers come to this show just for this particular segment. It's a little segment we like to call Best Bets.
Best Bets.
So, I mean, we heard all that other stuff, right? But for the gambling mofos, for our real DJs that like to tap in with us, they want to know what's your best bet, man. They want to know who you looking at in week 2. Who do you consider to be your best bet to win?
Yeah, so I'm gonna start off Denver. Denver, they're playing the Colts minus
I wanted that one
1.5.
too.
I'm
I
gonna take
like
the
that
Denver
one.
Broncos. That Daniel Jones shit was a fluke. They were going against a shitty Miami quitting Miami team. Like their Miami defense, they gave away all their players, all their elite players. All they got is Nick Bonito over there. No, Nick Bonito's in Denver. I'm sorry. So Nick Bonito's about to cook them. But no, I meant Phillips is who they got in Miami. But I think he was injured too.
Yeah.
But Denver, I'm taking Denver minus 1.5 at the Colts.
Okay.
Best bet number 1.
Hey, the dog is barking for that, so I don't know if Remy's feeling the Colts, but
Can't stand them.
no.
My
else
next
you got?
one is going to be Atlanta at the Minnesota Vikings.
Now, just a quick backstory. I saw this guy at a bar looking stressed on Sunday. And he said he's never betting on the Falcons again. But then he turns around and says, I'm taking Atlanta plus 4.5 versus Minnesota. Now, why?
It's good value. I think Minnesota gets a little juiced up because of that win last night.
Okay.
I think the line is a little juiced a little bit.
4.5?
Yeah,
Okay.
it should probably be 2, not 4.5.
Because they aren't that much better than the Falcons.
Exactly. Yeah, it should be like 2, not 4.5. So I'm taking, and I put it like this. I think Atlanta is better than what they portray. I mean, that was a division game, and they lost by a field goal that should have been made.
You should have been.
You see what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna.
Well, that would have been the overtime. So
Yeah,
we don't know.
I'm not going to. I'm not going to crucify them for that. So I'm gonna take Atlanta as a dog. They're plus 4.5 in Minnesota. Atlanta still may lose the game, but I think they'll be able to cover that. A lot of times they play close. I think this is going to be a good game where they can, keep it kind of close.
I mean, I love your faith in Michael Penix. And
I do. I like Michael Penix.
I love your faith in Michael Penix.
I like
so
Penix.
I'm with you.
Yeah, I've been
on that
telling you,
covering
Michael
the
Penix
4.5.
is that guy. I've been telling you that. And then last one is I'm take Washington plus 3.5 at Green Bay. I think this is a good matchup here. This is gonna be they could probably see each other in the playoffs.
They could.
Green Bay with this crazy defense, another week under Michael Parsons, with Michael Parsons in practice. That matchup with Jaden Daniels, I like Jaden Daniels because he's gonna move a little bit.
You like the legend of Jaden Daniels continue?
I don't know if it's gonna continue, but I like them to cover that spread to the 3.5. I think it'll be a close game. I like what I saw from the Washington's front, the defensive front. They was bringing pressure.
Yeah.
They was stopping the run game. So that's going to be a nice battle in the trenches with Green Bay and Josh Jacobs and that offense.
Yeah.
So that right there is kind of where I
They seem
see
to be in pretty good control for the most part against the Giants.
Yeah, for sure. That's where I see the matchup right there is at the trenches. So I'm gonna take Washington plus 3.5. You give me a hook. You give me the hook. I'm taking it.
The hook, yeah. That hook is nice. I like those picks. I don't have a problem with any of your picks, actually. Denver, Atlanta, and Washington. I'm pretty good with that. I might tell that.
Yeah.
But my best bets, Rip's best bets for week 2 of the NFL 2025 season. I'm gonna start off. I'm gonna go with my other team, the Los Angeles Chargers, minus 3.5 versus the Las Vegas Raiders. Now it is a hook on that, right? You still got Mad Max. It's still a division game, but I feel like the Chiefs are better than the Raiders based on what I saw just in week 1. Not even talking about previous history. Not even talking about any of that. Just based on what I saw in week 1. I think the Chiefs are probably better than the Raiders, right?
Yeah,
that's
for
not
sure.
a crazy assumption. And the Chargers were able to control that game. Now the Chargers are going to go against the Las Vegas Raiders, and I feel like if you were able to control that game against the Chiefs in another country, it was quote unquote a home game for the Chargers, but it was really in Brazil, so it wasn't really a home game. I feel like you should be able to do the same against the Raiders. That's just my logic, my thought, my rationale. Plus, I'm standing on it. I think the Chargers are better than people think.
Yeah.
And I think they come out here and win this game. I do think the Raiders are a little bit improved. Well, a lot of it improved from last season, but I think they have enough defensive pieces on both sides of the on the defensive side of the football, and then offensive pieces as far as wide receiving core and the addition of Marion Hampton to be able to win against the Las Vegas Raiders. It's going to be interesting to see that Hampton matchup at running back.
I'm not concerned,
but I'm not OD concerned about it. Another team that I like, it's a best bet of mine. Now, if I'm ranking 1, 2, and 3 of best bets, this one will probably be third.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go with the Pittsburgh Steelers, right, against the Seattle Seahawks. Mm-hmm. And the reason why I'm taking the Pittsburgh Steelers is because I like the energy and the intensity that they had. Of course, they got Mike Tomlin. Aaron Rodgers could have been frazzled against the Jets, especially when they had a lead on them and, up there and all the questions, all the chatter. Aaron Rodgers really was kind of like himself, unbothered. Mm-hmm. And they managed to come out there and they win that game. Jalen Ramsey made some good tackles, made some plays. Mm-hmm. So I think they got enough pieces to be able to beat the Seattle Seahawks in particular. I'm still not super, super high on the Pittsburgh Steelers, but I do think the Pittsburgh Steelers are good enough to be able to beat the Seattle Seahawks with Sam Darnold and those guys over there. Yeah. And my last one, probably coming in at number 2 for me in terms of best bet ranking, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take the New England Patriots against the Miami Dolphins. Just because the Miami Dolphins were such a shit show.
So bad.
I can't put any faith in that. It's a division matchup, and you just play so bad against Daniel Jones that I can't see you coming out there doing much better against Drake May. And the Patriots, who historically have kept a pretty decent defense, and Vrabel, it's some things leaning into the Patriots' favor. And for that reason, I'm going to just roll with them. I'm going to stick beside them. I think the Patriots did enough. Even though they lost to the Raiders, it was a 7-point game, which was a lot better than a 25-point game. So I'm going to take the lesser of two evils in this one. Give me the New England Patriots in a division pick'em at +1. Mm-hmm. So that is the Los Angeles Chargers, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the New England Patriots for me in terms of best bets.
Okay.
But
not bad.
Appreciate it. But there's one last thing we can get to people before we get up out of here. And it's another wonderful segment that a lot of people love. And it's called the Dawg of the Week. Who's barking?
That motherfucker over there.
Yeah, besides your actual dog, what dog you got barking for week 2 of the NFL season 2025?
Yeah, so I don't see how this is an underdog. I don't know where they get this from. I don't know why. How. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they're playing the Houston Texans.
Yeah.
I don't know why they are underdogs. It doesn't make sense to me.
The Texans trying to come back off a bounce back at home. No.
I don't understand it. I mean, I don't understand the line. I don't understand it. I like Tampa. Tampa, they battled against Atlanta, and they ended up coming back in the end of the game and stealing one on the road. So give me the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I like the rise of Emeka Egbuka.
He did make some plays out there.
Rookie out of Ohio State.
He did make some plays out there against the Falcons.
He's that deal. I'm telling you, he's gonna be that guy. Ohio State receivers, between them and the LSU receivers, that's the wide receiver U. They producing them boys. So I'm taking the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, man, as my dog of the week to beat Houston.
I'm not mad at that. I think that's actually probably a great pick. Probably one of the best dogs you could pick for the week. But my dog that I'm going to take, you mentioned him a little bit earlier. Mm-hmm. I talked about him last season. I'm going to stick beside him. The legend of Jaden Daniels continues.
It's a good matchup right there.
It's a good matchup with Washington and Green Bay on Thursday Night Football. But I'm gonna roll with Jaden Daniels and Washington in this game as my dog, because of the simple fact that Jaden put up 233 and he had how many yards rushing? 68.
Too many.
Too
many.
Now, granted, that was against the Giants,
No.
whose defense probably spends way too much time on the field.
Mm-hmm.
But I just feel like he didn't even have like a sensational game.
Mm-mm.
Honestly, he put up those
He
numbers.
did good. He did really
good.
good. He did really good.
He did do good.
Nah,
but we've even seen him outperform that.
Yeah.
And he put up 233 and 68 yards rushing.
He was throwing the ball very well. Key downs, he'll get sacked on first down. It'll be 2nd and 19, and then he'll make a completion for 15 yards, and now it's 3rd and 4.
Yeah.
And then 3rd and 4, he scrambles for 10 yards. Now it's first down.
Yeah.
That happened about 3 times against the Giants. So that's the benefit and value of having him, So like I said, it's that matchup. Him, Micah Parsons, it's going to be that cat and mouse chase game going on.
I think that scrambling ability kind of shows a little bit of advantage in their favor, just because of the simple fact that the Green Bay Packers defense didn't really have to worry about that too much against Detroit. Just golf ain't scrambling for real.
Just blow up them
but
defense.
Jaden can take off.
Yeah, he'll take off on you.
And he can get significant yards. So I think that opens it up a little bit more. And hopefully during this game you end up seeing a slightly better performance out of our guy Terry McLaurin, who only had 27
Debo
yards.
stole the show.
Debo had 77 and 7 receptions.
Debo stole the show.
But I think you see a little bit more out of McLaurin in this matchup as well. So I mean, I'm a roll with Washington.
I like it.
I'm gonna take them as a dog of the week.
No, I like it. I got them plus 3.5.
But that's all we got.
That's all we got.
So make sure y'all like, share, comment, subscribe to the channel, man. We got a lot of fun things, a lot of excitement. People been hitting my line like, we want to come on the show. We want to come on the show. So, we're going to have some guests for y'all. He says no. I says yes. But we'll see. We'll figure it out. But anything last words you want to give to the people, man?
No, sir. That's it.
Y'all hit my line, hit my comments with them prop bets, man. Because I'm ready to tap in on props. I didn't really tap in on props during week 1 because I kind of wanted to gauge the environment and see what the hell is going on. But week 2, I think I might want to put a little sprinkle on some props. So y'all talk to me, I'll talk back. I go by the name of Rip16 the GOAT.
Ty the Jet.
And we are the Mighty No Hedge Podcast duo, man. Make sure y'all come back for week 3 of the NFL season. But for now, make sure y'all show some love to our comments and send them bets. As we like to say, parlays,
making money line plays.
May all these bets continue to pay, and we'll catch y'all guys on another day. Peace.
We out.